It's going to take us a few moments to reset the stage up here. While we're doing this, I believe some folks from the Scott Joplin International Ragtime Foundation are going to pass the bucket. Your donations are greatly appreciated. Those are what help to pay for these tents, pay for moving pianos around, pay for performers. So if you're enjoying the festival, if you have a little spare change, you're going to toss it in the bucket, we would all greatly appreciate that. So thank you. While we're resetting the stage, I've got Martin Spitznagel and Dan Levinson here to give you a little tune you may recognize. And we'll be back to start the next set in about 5 minutes.
Thank you. last year in 1998. You know, but once you've come to the Scott Joplin Festival, you've always come to the Scott Joplin Festival. Whether you come back next year or in 27 years, you are always welcome here in the heat of, you know, Missouri. Actually, this is a lovely day. We are feeling very spoiled because it's not hot. Usually I've sweat through all the layers, and Bryan and I are usually sweating through each other's clothes at this point. But without further adu, you know, Bryan and I, for years now, have you know, played here on Saturday afternoon, typically before our friends Jeff Barnhart and Brian Holland. And you know, we were always kind of like the you know, the opening act, right? Our job was to make you look forward to the next performers. Right? I will say we were really good at it. We were excellent at making people want the next thing to happen as soon as possible. And I think this year our job's a little different. Yeah. We're getting you ready for dinner. Yeah. And I think our job this year is to make you feel good that this is, you know, the last outdoor set at the Scott Joplin Festival. You're going to go, that's enough. I'm good. That was fun. We had a good time. But I really love being on this stage with you. I look forward to it every year. And we're joined today by Danny Coots, and we have a couple surprises planned for you. Yes, Danny, our stage judge. You know, fortunately he plays the drums better than he guesses ragtime pianists. So we were really in for a treat. But those ballet moves were very impressive. I have never seen a 60-something man be that lithe in a blindfold next to a stage. I thought for sure it was going to be a medical emergency. But we got to take chances, that's right, at the instrument and with our health and safety. Well, Bryan, years ago, wrote a piece which I think is just delightful. And it's called Ticklish Tom, a Carolina Cakewalk. And it's not performed enough. And this is in B flat, Danny, for you. And it's just a lovely tune. And tell the story about Gimpy Peach Johnson while I make my way to the piano. Or do you want to say? Oh, sure. Yeah, that's fine. Tell the folks about Gimpy Peach.
So when I wrote this, it was the first rag I ever wrote. It's one of the only ones I've ever written. And I was somewhat embarrassed by it because it really just borrows a lot of tropes from some of the 1890s style rags. And so I thought I would see how much fun I could have trying to pass it off as a new discovery by a forgotten Virginia pianist of the 1890s named Gimpy Peach Johnson. And I came up with that because so if you ever look at old blues records, you have people like Blind Lemon Jefferson, and they have, so there's a formula. You have to have an infirmity, and then a fruit, and then the last name of a former U.S. president. So I just came up with Gimpy Peach Johnson, and that was the name I ascribed to this for a number of years until... So anyway, here it is. Thank you very much.
Do you want to take a beat there, Bryan? Or just play it and then bring out the one they had in. Johnson.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, man. Smart. I'm going to let you drive this train, because at this point in the festival, I'm just whipped.
I think you have decision fatigue, my friend.
So
we've got an up-close view of what it takes to wrangle this many musicians. This man has done an incredible job putting on this festival. With all of the volunteers and funders and sponsors and donors. It's just, it's a labor of love. Labor of love. Thank you. Thank you. Truly, so many hands come together, from the ones that set up the tent, to the ones that set up the food, to the ones that set up the musicians for success. We are so fortunate to have the support of the city of Sedalia. Thank you very much.
yeah. If I could just piggyback off of that for just a moment, because it really is a team effort, and there are so many people that help make this festival possible. And I'd like to just take this opportunity to acknowledge Nancy Moss, John Simmons, Kathleen Boswell, Catherine Menifee, Chris Robinson. I'm sure there's a few more names I'm forgetting. I don't even see the faces right now, but maybe just one more round. Yeah, there's Nancy Moss, Bill McNally. Oh, yes, Jerusha White over here, Jerusha. Thank you. But to all the members of the Scott Joplin board who work tirelessly year-round to put this thing together. I mean, we're going to start meetings in, I think about a week and a half for next year. So it really is a year-round effort, and it takes up a whole village. And so thank you to all of them.
Gosh, it's like planning a wedding every year. with like 50 brides. This is rough. Let's play some more ragtime. What do you think?
That's what we're here for. That's what we're paying for.
Well, so tell us a little bit about Tom Turpin.
We're going to do that one. Okay. Yeah, okay. So Tom Turpin, one of the original greats of ragtime, based out in St. Louis. He was proprietor of the Rosebud Cafe, a popular gathering ground for young ragtime musicians like Scott Joplin, like Louis Chauvin, a bunch of others. I've heard it said that he would stand, he held court at the Rosebud at a big piano that he had hoisted up on blocks so he could play it while he was standing up, which I'm not quite going to do here, but we're going to play you a little piece he wrote called The Harlem Rag in 1897, one of the very first published rags.
Well, do you think it's time to call in reinforcements? Or, you know what? You want to do our one hand thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Let me do that.
Okay, you have the sheet. Okay, so a million years ago, I met Bryan in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's where I'm from, and he had come to go to school there. And just randomly, we actually met here at the Joplin Festival. Somebody introduced us. Oh, there's a guy you should know. And we put on a concert, our first ragtime concert in Pittsburgh. We needed a grand finale, and so we did a duet, four-hands version of the Star Wars Cantina Band. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And we haven't done that in a while. We might do that one too if you want to. Here. We wanted to follow it up with another one. And so about 11 years ago, we arranged a version of the Walt Disney movie Aladdin. That the Robin Williams sings "Friend Like Me." You know, you never had a friend like me. Anyway, it's a very catchy number written by Alan Menken, Howard Ashman, and we thought it would make a good duet piece. And so we worked on it really hard and practiced it, recorded it, made a video we're really proud of, and have not played it since. And, I don't know about you, but 11 years is a long time to not do something. I don't know if you've ridden a bike after 11 years. Anybody who said that you don't forget how to ride a bike has never paused for as long as I have. But we were, in the room before going, what are we going to do today? They gave us the whole hour, and so we're like, well, let's do the Friend Like Me. So let me show you.
Bless you.
Thank you. So Bryan just happened to have the chord changes. So you can imagine, music is not supposed to look like this. Music is supposed to have notes. Not like the notes you take to the grocery store, like actual notes. So I have no idea what's going to happen here. And, if you like it, it's on YouTube, and if you don't like it, it's short. Okay. Here is an oldie, but an oldie. Friend Like Me. Every year. You think he's wide enough? All right. All right. Here we go. want to hear it? You do? You want to hear the Star Wars one? Yeah. Great! Yay! Of course! Yes, absolutely! Yes! Yeah, let's do it! Yay! Yeah, that's right. Holding you up from here. Join us. Okay. Yeah, join us in. And then I do that same instruction. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Cantina Band by Mr. John Williams. And John Williams actually has a ragtime connection. His father was a very accomplished drummer in Raymond Scott's orchestra. And so John Williams grew up with the sounds of this traditional music in his home and was a very accomplished Hollywood jazz pianist before he became the composer we think of now. But I think it's time we class up this program a little bit. And we so appreciate your time and attention. Bryan, why don't you introduce our next performer? I believe you're familiar with him.
All right, so we've got somebody running around here doing triple duty during this festival. She's keeping me sane, shuttling me around. She's taking care of our 5-year-old daughter, Kiki, who's running around somewhere. She's also manning the camera, and I'm going to invite her to come up and perform a little bit for us now. This is my wife, Yuko Wright.
He's overusing me. Okay. These guys are tall. Oh, there you go. Now Japanese slangs. Yeah.
I'm gonna write a rag called Too Many Microphones. That's my next rag, actually.
Okay. All right.
F, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Jazz up your laundry, just like a melody. There's music where every ribbon has a
play. Oh, this doesn't have a switch. That's probably better. So you go. Do you still have a little breath? Okay.
Are we doing that now?
Yes.
What? Hold on!
Just a friendly reminder, if it's been a while since you last saw your doctor, now would be a good time to call him up. Make sure the plumbing's good. So last year when we were here at the festival, Nico mentioned that she had been wanting for some time to take tap dance lessons. And after we left here and drove home, she made good on it. And she called up the dance studio and scheduled herself and Kiki for some tap dance lessons. And a few months ago, they decided they wanted to work up a little routine. Now, I don't know if Kiki's going to cooperate. Kiki, will you cooperate? Yes? So we're going to try and do a little number for you and see if we can get the two of them working even harder than they already do. So normally you tap dance on a floor that's a little different from the stage. So they're going to do the best they can. And we're going to give you a little taste of James P. Johnson's The Charleston.
This is for our teacher, Miss Jenny. She is in the middle of cancer treatment. But I think she's recovering, so this is for you. Sorry for the misstep.
actually, what I'd like to do, in the audience is our ragtime kid, Jared Zabo. Jared, are you out there still? Are we still out there? Right, oh, yay, yay. So, this place loved me into being. Like, I came here, you know, liking ragtime when you're a 12-year-old or 13-year-old. I mean, I liked ragtime, and I liked Star Wars, and I like girls. And only two of those things liked me back for a long time. But, you know, I came here and I found my ragtime people, right? People who kind of got it, like you all, who get it. You feel it when you hear it. You're like, this is impossible. I cannot be in a bad mood when I'm listening to ragtime, right? And it's just this incredibly infectious thing. But we have to keep it going. We have to encourage the next generation. And so the wonderful Ragtime Kid program has kind of formalized what used to be informal and is still a little informal, where we celebrate the young performers. And so this is really daunting. And people would rather die than do what I'm doing right now, just talking in front of people on a microphone, right? It's nerve-wracking, those of you who have done it. And so it doesn't get easier with less practice. And so we figured, like, well, you know, let's come up and play with us and be a part of the thing. And no matter how it goes, it's fine, because you guys are going to clap anyway, right? Yeah, you're going to like it. But you're not going to have to do it out of pity, because this young man is an incredible musician. So I'd like to welcome to the stage our ragtime kid, Jared Zabo. Introduce yourself.
Hello everybody, I'm Jared.
Jared, how old are you?
I'm 16 years old.
And where are you from?
I'm from Southern California, a town called Simi Valley.
Ooh, so you brought the sunshine. Okay. Now, how long have you been playing the piano?
I've been playing the piano 4 years.
4 years. And how did you discover ragtime?
Via The Entertainer, which was a song on my little plasticky electronic keyboard that I had at the time.
Thank you so much, software engineer at Casio, for putting The Entertainer. We can rank that right up. That's incredible, really. What about The Entertainer caught your attention?
I guess it must have been the syncopation. The absolute joy of the rhythm is just, it's infectious.
Guys, I think he's got it. I think he's got it done. All right. So, what are we going to play together?
I'd like to play Elite Syncopations with you.
Okay. And we're going to play it with drum accompaniment too, which adds a whole new variable, but Danny's the best. Just be careful. Just stay 6 feet away. He doesn't bite. Elite Syncopations by Mr. Joplin with our ragtime kid. Sure. You take the big dog. We want to hear you. You start us off and we will join in you, okay? Goodness gracious, we're having fun, man. The kids are playing ragtime, the sun is out, life is good. Everything's good. Well, we've got a couple more things for you, if you can stand it, if you can bear it, if you can bring yourself to stay seated. I have been called out at this festival, called out musically. When I was a kid, I loved the way ragtime felt to play. So the fact that Jared was able to maintain tempo through that whole thing, I mean, it was very difficult. Because playing ragtime is kind of like rubbing your feet on the carpet. It creates static electricity between this left hand, which is just doing the thing over and over and over, and this right hand is just off and left, out in left field, right? It's just flying around. This is like, this is Bert, and this is Ernie, right? Okay. And the two of them together creates electricity. And if you're not careful, start out playing at a normal tempo. But something will happen over time. It's not good. So.
Hey, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Well, fortunately, we all know, well, I'm not even going to acknowledge that at the moment because I can't think about it. Anyway, no one plays They Frag like that, and they are certainly not going to do that today. But I have been called out by my friend Will Perkins, there's a piece I used to play called the Charleston Rag, and Will played it like nice and slow and jazzy and swingy the other day, and it was so good I felt like personally accosted by how good it was. And so he kind of challenged me to do this in front of people, but I can't do it alone. So would you please welcome Will Perkins? Yeah, Vincent Wilson is also here. Anyway, we're gonna play the Charleston Rag. Take it back. Oh my gosh. All right, we got one more tune for you folks. Thank you so much. Y'all having fun? All right. I was so nervous about this because we have done, you know, Jeff and Bryan, I remember being a kid sitting on the lawn watching these guys play, knocking the top of the tent off and just going, man, if I could only, you know, do that. And I still feel that way. But I'm so delighted we got a chance to do this together. Bryan, we have one more thing we'd like to do together for the folks. Is that right?
Yes. I think so.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, it's customary to sort of finish this whole thing with something big and explosive, but I think after last night and the marvelous performance by Joshua Rifkin, who's with us here this week, I think he really gave us all a lesson in the stately approach to ragtime, in this respectful way that gives Joplin the gravitas that he deserves. And so rather than tear our way through Maple Leaf Rag, we thought we blindfolded
in dresses, yeah, we're dads now, we can't do that anymore.
Right. Instead of a gimmick, we thought we would just play you the Maple Leaf Rag as we learned from Joshua Rifkin on his recording. So, with appreciation to you for being here, we're going to close with the Maple Leaf Rag.
Yeah, thank you, Maestro.
You gotta play it faster. What is this here?
I guess we got to do what the man.
I mean, he's Joshua Rifkin, we gotta do what he said.
Yeah.
I will suck you the tempo.
Okay.
Yeah, get it forward.
Oh, we knew you were ragtime royalty, we didn't know you were ragtime god as well. So.
We're not there yet. Hey. Get faster. Come on, I'll join you and show you.
Professor Joshua Rifkin, Dr. Bryan Wright, Jenny Coots, Marty Spitznagel. On behalf of the foundation, thank you so much for being here. We look forward to seeing you at the concert tonight. We love you.